Channel 1 Lunchtime News begins right now. Good afternoon and a warm welcome. This is what we have lined up for you at this moment for the headline shaping up the news conversation, not only in the general news, but also in business and the latest from the world of sports. I'll be telling you which African team is playing tonight in the FIFA World Cup that is being played in USA, Mexico, and also Canada. My name is Njue. Lucy Maura is my co-anchor on the sign language interpretation. Straight to the news. Stakeholders in the Jukwaa la Wasomi, a multi-sectoral program designed to train institutional leaders as certified professional mediators, has emphasized the need for dialogues in learning institutions to address the emerging challenges affecting them, including conflict, student unrest, and mental health concerns, to create a harmonious learning environment. Speaking during the launch of the first quarter training of the period January to March 2026, the stakeholders, who included secondary schools and tertiary institution heads, disclosed critical gaps in mediation, conflict management, and early response systems within institutions. The mediation program has not only positioned institutions of learning as centers of academic excellence, but also as critical partners in safeguarding national peace, cohesion, and security.
I would really want to appeal to the learners, to our students, the youth, to our educators, to our leaders, both political or otherwise, including the religious leaders, that we need to be mediators. We need to be citizens who encourage dialogue.
Our initiatives are based on our desire to ensure that in all our institutions at all levels, we actually give the learners, their lecturers, their teachers, their instructors enough dialogue so that tunaweza kushiba kwa amani.
Because since the training that we've had, we have a lot of harmony. There is a lot of collaboration amongst ourselves. The atmosphere in our institution has become nicer. And most of the times we are now having mutual agreeable solutions amongst ourselves.
Elsewhere, the Undugu Society of Kenya is urging Kenyans to embrace the alternative justice system, saying it can help expand access to justice and reduce the growing backlog of cases in courts. The organization said many minor disputes can be resolved at the community level if more people agree that conflicts can be solved without costly litigation. Speaking during the 4th Annual Alternative Justice System Conference at the University of Embu, Executive Director Eric Mukoya said marginalized communities continue to face barriers including lack of identification documents, discrimination, and exclusion from government services. His words were echoed by Deputy Executive Director Donna Okumu, who noted that many minor disputes can be resolved through alternative justice system, but limited public confidence pushes more cases into formal courts.
In whichever model you use an AJS system, there has to be trust, because these are two conflicting people who have to believe that him as a person will enable them to get an amicable resolution. If I don't trust you and he doesn't trust that this decision that is going to be made is in the best interest of everyone.
So many cases do not end up in court. Over 80% of cases are not solved in court. Asilimia 80 ya kesi ambazo zinapatikana hapa nchini haziendi kotini. Nyingi ya hizi kesi zinasuluhishwa na njia hizi mbadala ambazo tunasema ni watu wanakaa chini na kuelewana.
If that justice system doesn't bring bread and butter, that it can address basic needs of people, then that justice system cannot work for anybody.
To environmental conservation now, where religious leaders have called for increased investment and enhanced collaboration, in environmental conservation efforts, terming the move as a crucial step in addressing the adverse effects of climate change. Led by the national president of the Baptist Convention of Kenya, Dr. Bernard Obuya, the clergy say greater support from both public and private sector is crucial in accelerating afforestation and environmental conservation initiatives across the country. The leaders have at the same time challenged communities, schools and organizations to join hands in restoring degraded ecosystems. They spoke during a tree planting exercise organized by the Baptist Convention of Kenya in collaboration with Equity Bank and Bakna Kenya at Baptist Children's Center in Dandora area of Nairobi County.
Today we are planting 1,000. We have spread them across. Our target is to be able to have about 2,000 here in this institution. And also we have other institutions across the country where we'll be doing the same exercise as we look for more partners in the same way. If you really want to be able to improve the water catchment within our area and also improve our environment, we have a desire to seek for more partners that can be able to provide us with the trees, and not only us, but also in other institutions and churches, so that we can be able to plant the trees.
I will urge all of us, men and women of faith in all churches, to take this wonderful example and make an investment in where we live and how we do things, and let the environment be part of us.
As Equity, our target is 35 million trees. So we have partnered with Baptist in this particular place with 3,000 seed rates. And because they have regions all over the country, they target to progress the same in the other institutions.
Still on the environmental degradation and wanton destruction of forests are igniting the emergence of zoonotic diseases like Ebola, rabies, yellow fever, avian influenza, and most recently COVID-19. Public health specialist Dr. Ahmed Ogwell says human life is linked to the environment and continued destruction of the ecosystem spells doom for mankind. And as Judith Akolo reports, no country is safe as long as the population explosion continues pushing humans into clearing forest for human settlements, agriculture and mining.
The ecological balance is fast diminishing, driven by human activities like habitat destruction, overexploitation and pollution. And as humans clear large tracts of forested land for settlement and agriculture, the displacement of animals from their natural habitats are bringing diseases closer to humans. The former Deputy Director at Africa CDC, Dr. Ahmed Ogwell, warns that the clearing of forests is increasing the possibility of animal reservoirs like fruit bats, which are the main hosts of the Ebola virus, getting closer to human populations.
That we cut down the trees, the more that we go do our agriculture in the middle of the forest, the more that we do clearing of forested areas, the more we increase the possibility that the animal reservoirs are going to be in closer contact with the human population.
Governments are being urged to reduce human interaction with forested areas and avoid disrupting ecosystems while investing in capacity building for both healthcare systems and healthcare personnel to detect and contain disease outbreaks before they spread to larger areas.
Having an isolation unit is a good strategy because it provides you with the opportunity to be able to get an individual who is exposed to a virus that is fast moving like Ebola in an area where they can be able to be looked after without risk to the population.
According to Ogwell, the Ebola outbreak in DR Congo and Uganda is an opportunity for Kenya to build the capacity to deal with the disease outbreaks were they to occur.
Having your health workers be part of the response, the actual response, which is in the DRC and partially in Uganda, it would have been very useful to have Kenyan experts being deployed to not only help in the intervention there, but also to build its capacity by being in the real life situation.
He says this, coupled by strategic communication instead of half-truths on social media, will reduce public anxiety.
Kenya as a country my encouragement will be, let us ensure that we are prepared by good information, by putting systems into place. The screening and surveillance at our ports of entry need to be done by people who are well experienced, well exposed, and know what to look for.
One health approach, where animal health, human health, and the environment work together, could see a reduction in zoonotic disease outbreaks, while constant surveillance will aid in stopping the spread of diseases when they occur.
That way, all the surveillance mechanisms from all the three areas are overlaid with each other, and the country can be able to be assessing its preparedness using data from all three different sectors.
Judith Akolo, The Lunchtime News.
Water and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Eric Mugaa says the country has made significant progress in water sector reforms through successive legislative frameworks, including the Water Act of 2016 and the Water Resources Regulations of 2025. Speaking during a high-level roundtable dialogue on basin water resources in Nairobi, the CS emphasized the need for stronger water governance institutions, increased investment and collaboration among stakeholders to address the country's water challenges. He said the government was committed to strengthening water sector institutions and strengthening intergovernmental collaboration between national and county governments to ensure inclusive representation of all stakeholders in basin water resources. Dutch Ambassador to Kenya, Henk Jan Baker, was present, noted that water remains a critical enabler of social and economic development, saying that the Netherlands' support through the Catchment to Tap program is aimed at strengthening integrated water resources management and contributing to Kenya's long-term water security.
It comes from the catchment, and the catchment is the mother. Without proper catchment protection and conservation, even the taps that we have at our homes, at the convenience of your home, will dry up. And one of the ways to do that is to activate what we call the basin water catchment committees. That has faced challenges. Their mandate was not very clear. There was overlap in the mandate. And now we have gone back to try to clean that up and also develop some regulations.
The Catchment to Tap program was programmed by the Embassy to make integrated water resource management of higher priority. We need to focus on and meet the demand for investment in expanding water distribution infrastructure, and recognizing that the sustainability of these investments in water infrastructure and overall investments in the basin is dependent on long-term water.
And the aim has been to enhance water security in Kenya by strengthening catchment management for improved access and availability of clean and safe water.
And in other news, a section of Anglican bishops has called on clergy across the country to increase spiritual mentorship in schools as part of efforts to address rising cases of unrest in learning institutions. The appeal was made during the announcement of the fourth bishop-elect of Katakwa Anglican Bishop in Busia County, Dr. Vitalis Ekuru. Presiding Bishop Dr. Christopher Ruto urged the bishop-elect to promote unity within the diocese and strengthen collaboration with neighboring dioceses, including those in Uganda. Speaking after his election, Dr. Ekuru thanked members of the Synod and Electoral College for their support and pledged to work closely with clergy and Christians while promoting inclusive leadership and dialogue. Christians welcomed the election, expressing confidence in the new bishop's leadership as celebrations marked the announcement at the ACK diocesan headquarters in Amagoro.
We pray that we shall have pastors, we shall have also bishops who will be nurturing even the most vulnerable within our society. May Bishop-elect Vitalis Ekuru be the person who is called for such a time as this. We pray that he will bring the people of Katakwa together to help them also grow the church here. and even within the borders, the neighboring Uganda, may they work together also within the neighboring dioceses of Uganda, because this is a boundary diocese.
To some politics now, where religious leaders and other stakeholders in Kakamega County have condemned the alleged use of youths to cause violence during public rallies. The leaders allege politicians are enticing young people by offering them money to disrupt meetings of their opponents. Businessmen Boniface Ngashira and Samuel Wesonga urged politicians to find alternative ways of empowering the youth instead of exploiting them for political gains.
Jana ndo tunatumika kama uguns. Mtu anakupea pesa kidogo, unaenda kuumiza mwenzako. Kitu ambacho hata wewe mwenyewe akikusaidii kwa maisha yako. Kisha uumiza mwenzako na 200 umepewa, hivyo ndio imeisha.
Nataka kukondem sana hii mambo ya uhuni, mambo ambayo watu wanatumika, vijana wetu kama goons kwenda kuattack mikutano za wengine. Hilo ni jambo ambalo si mzuri. Visa ambazo zinaendelea kwenye hii nchi si visa za kufurahisha.
Vijana wenzangu ambao wanafanya kazi ya pikipiki, ninawarai Kenya mzima, mahali popote ulipo, ukisikia hii sauti, jua kwamba mahali penye unasimama hapo stage yako hiyo, chukua huyo mwenzako kama ndugu yako. Wacha kuchukua uadui ukiweka kwa wenzako.
Still on politics, the Jubilee Deputy Party Leader and Presidential hopeful Fred Matiang'i has criticized the government over the rise of hooliganism in the country. Matiang'i warns that the attacks by goons are threatening investment and economic growth.
Speaking during a burial ceremony in Kiambaa, Kiambu County, Matiang'i accused security agencies of failing to act despite being aware of unfolding incidents of hooliganism, citing the invasion of goons at All Saints Cathedral last Friday.
We have a very elaborate security infrastructure in the country, from Nyumba Kumi, assistant chiefs all the way, sub-county security committees, county security committees, regional security committees. We have sufficient capacity to deal with this. The fact that it's not being dealt with is deliberate.
Speaking separately in Kajiado County, Jubilee Party officials, led by Deputy Leader Joseph Njue, also condemned and urged politicians to refrain from engaging in divisive and tribal-based politics, noting that such practices undermine national unity and democratic progress.
Hapa hatutaki mambo ya tribalism, hatutaki clanism, tunataka watu waishi kama wa Kenyans. And our factor tutakuwa tukicheki ni in performance of individuals.
Jeremiah Kioni, on his side, dismissed the recently presented national budget, arguing that key issues affecting ordinary citizens, including the high cost of living and the prices of basic commodities, were not adequately addressed.
The fact that Kenyans are not demonstrated does not mean that they have accepted the budget. It is a demonstration that they have given up on this government. Wao wanagojea siku ya uchaguzi wapeleke watu nyumbani.
They defended former President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying he remains committed to promoting inclusivity, national cohesion, and equal opportunities for all Kenyans, regardless of their political affiliations or ethnic backgrounds.
And away from politics, parents have been urged to foster close relationships with their children in a bid to address the rising cases of abuse and indiscipline among children. Speaking in Kilifi County at a forum organized by Zamara Foundation that brought together stakeholders on children's affairs in the county, parental neglect and poverty were highlighted as the main contributors to child abuse, violence, especially the girl child.
Poverty imechangia pakubwa hawa watoto kunyanyaswa kijinsia na pia kupata mimba za mapema, kwa sababu mtoto anakosa sodo, hawezi kuja shule katika hali hiyo.
Wazazi wametelekeza
wametelekeza watoto, so ama wajibu wao wamekuwa na majukumu kwa sababu ya maisha vile yalivyokuwa magumu. Sasa kuna gap ya kuwa ule mzazi kuwa karibu na mtoto wake, kuna hiyo gap. So ndo tuko hapa tujadiliane, tujue vile tutafanya ili tuweze kusaidia na kupunguza especially dhulma za watoto.
Saizi mtoto lazima umweke katika dialogue na umhusishe katika miradi zozote za pale kwa jamii na familia.
Still on the coast, residents of Changamwe and human rights advocates have welcomed the launch of the Uhaki na Usawa Social Justice Center, a community-based initiative aimed at providing legal assistance and promoting human rights awareness across the coast region. The center was officially unveiled during a ceremony attended by local activists, representatives from civil society organizations, international partners, and government officials. Speaking at the event, Voco Africa Director Khalid Hussein and Muhuri Director Khalef Khalif noted that many victims of injustice are unable to pursue legal action because of the high cost of legal services. The launch also highlighted growing collaboration between civil society organizations and government institutions in advancing justice and accountability.
Hii social justice na hili container limeweka hapa nataka kutumiwa. Sasa kama kuna matatizo, kuna jambo lolote hapa, matatizo yenu yafikiwe.
Ukiukaji wa haki za binadamu ziko juu. Wamama wanauawa, vijana wanapigwa risasi. Ukiingia huku mitaani hakuna makazi. Kote unapokwenda si sewage, sio nini, zimetapakaa kila mahali. Hii nafasi ya sisi kutumia hii ofisi imefika. Tusikubali kunyanyaswa wapwani.
Religious leaders from the coast region have called for the reintroduction of corporal punishment in schools, arguing that the ban on caning has contributed to rising cases of indiscipline among learners. Speaking during the launch of the Kilifi chapter of the Association of Mijikenda Clergy in Malindi, the association chairman Bishop Simon Peter Menza said strict discipline played a key role in shaping responsible citizens and urging the government to review the policy. The clergy linked the growing cases of school unrest to poor parenting, declining moral values and weakened discipline system.
Wakati wetu sisi kiboko ndio kilitupatia kuwa vile tulivyo. Na hata mzazi alikuwa anaweza kukupatia adhabu, na ukienda kwa baba, si ni mama, ukienda kwa baba unaongezewa.
Biblia inasema kiboko huondoa ujinga kwa mtoto. Alafu hii serikali ikaweka sheria kwamba ni hatia kumchapa mtoto. Sasa tunavuna.
The government has allocated a further 13.88 billion shillings for the 2025-26 financial year, coming to an end in the next 12 days to cater for current expenses in the second supplementary budget currently under consideration at the National Assembly. While considering the allocation, MPs were sharply divided, with lawmakers from the opposition questioning the justification for increased allocations to state offices, arguing that the allocations appear to be politically motivated. But MPs allied to the government defended the spending plan, reminding the House that Parliament itself is among the beneficiaries of the supplementary budget. The Office of the Deputy President has been allocated 200 million shillings, State House 1 billion shillings, Basic Education 1.5 billion shillings, and Broadcasting 150 million shillings, among others.
We have before us a supplementary budget concentrating resources in the Office of the Deputy President for what they call operations, Office of the, State House for what they call operations again, Department of Internal Security for what they call general administration, and National Intelligence Service for what they don't even describe what it is. Madam Speaker, we know why this money is being allocated to these particular offices. It is to provide resources for political campaigns. We know that. They do it all the time.
Order. Give him half a minute and conclude.
Half a minute to conclude and say this, Honorable Speaker. State House is not State House Nairobi alone. We are all aware we have done a number of state lodges across the country, including the people for Wajir in the northern Kenya. People who felt excluded from Kenya. That people are saying, even Homa Bay, there is a state lodge. Therefore, recurrent expenditure in State House cannot be what it was last year. We just hosted the Africa France Summit, Honorable Speaker. You know that cost money in recurrent expenditure. The president hosting all those people, and we have to provide for those expenses.
We have said we are allocating 200 million to the office of the deputy president. And you cannot question that, I'm sorry, because we passed the estimates yesterday. If you were not here, you have yourself to blame. Number two, it depends on whether this motion, this bill, will carry the day or not, and it's going to carry the day.
And on that bit, we're taking a quick break, but when we come back, we still have more news. I'll also run you through a couple of business stories before we know which African team will be playing later tonight at the FIFA World Cup. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Starting to find his rhythm. Yeah, he's gliding with the ball, you know, it's such an even player.
Great pass, great goal for France. Mbappe draws level with Olivier Giroud.
We see that again with Koundé, Olise. And the perfect ball break, you know, at the line, and you have to give, you know, to Mbappe, you know, what a run coming, you know, a dagger.
Star 977 hash or download my Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, Nuru ya Kenya.
The FIFA World Cup 2026, hosted by the Triumvirate of Canada, Mexico and the United States of America, promises to be blissful. Explore the most exciting edition of the tournament to date as 48 teams from around the globe compete in 104 fixtures across 16 host cities. We celebrate culture, friendship, and more importantly, monetizing talent. At this first ever Tri-National World Cup from 11th of June to 19th of July 2026. Just like the formidable 10 African nations represented, be at the center of the FIFA World Cup 2026. 34 free-to-air matches, live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
The Salaries and Remuneration Commission, in collaboration with stakeholders, will host the National Productivity and Performance Conference to be held from 17 to 19 June 2026 at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi under the theme Productivity for Fiscal Sustainability and Efficient Service Delivery. The conference will set the direction for a future where Kenya's public service is productive, efficient, and fiscally sustainable.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, the Kenya private security workers have called on the Ministry of Labour to revoke licenses of companies that are not implementing the minimum wage of 30,000 shillings, disclosing that underpayment has posed a financial strain on workers. Speaking in Nairobi during a walk demanding justice, the Union Secretary General Isaac Andabo also urged the Ministry of Interior to enhance the security of the workers after some reported being violated at work after their workplace. The union has given the Ministry of Labour a 21-day notice to address their grievances, or they will call for a nationwide strike.
I'll do it in writing. And we are not joking around because it's about our wives, our family, and our welfare, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Na hiyo makampuni ambayo haifanyi minimum wage, kampuni ambayo heshimu order ya serikali yenu ya Ministry of Labour kulipa minimum wage, why can't you seize them? Why can't you revoke them? Simply. Yes. Because I believe the government must listen to the cries of the poor. Na Mheshimiwa Rais alisema hawa ndio watu wapo hodo. Sasa tangu achukue uongozi 3 years, hakuna minimum wage, hakuna overtime. Watu wanakufa kwa assignment, askari anakufa na stress, anakufa na depression. Kila siku askari anafanya nini? Anakufa.
Now, water scarcity in Samburu County has been attributed to the dwindling dream of education for girls from the pastoral community, with female learners reportedly missing classes in search of the scarce commodity. During the recent celebration of the African Child Day organized at the Resim Primary School in Samburu East, the head teacher admitted that the school's academic schedule is disrupted when girls miss school and are forced to collect water, a task that requires them to endure the scorching sun and long walks in search of this rare commodity. Stakeholders fighting for children's rights have called on the government to simplify the process of getting water by drilling wells near residents.
These are the counties that are purely pastoralist, and also they are SAL. And the water issue is a disaster, and also it's an emergency.
Ya kuhimiza hizo kampuni ambazo wanatuletea maji watuletee maji saizi wakati maji yanahitajika. Sana kabisa hapa kwa shule inakuwa mbaya sana, na tunajua ya kwamba msichana akikosa maji mambo yake ya usafi si mazuri kabisa. Tumepata ripoti ya wale watoto ambao wameacha shule sababu labda hakuna maji, ama wengine wanakataa kwenda shule sababu sasa mtu amekaa wiki nzima hajaoga.
Kwa vile ningeomba kwa serikali watusaidie mambo na maji.
Time to make sense of business. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority says that digital trading platforms and courier services are increasingly being used to distribute counterfeit goods, citing challenges in tracking online transactions. Anti-Counterfeit Authority Chief Executive Officer Robbie Kinga says the agency plans a nationwide awareness campaign alongside a strengthened enforcement drive amid an increase in fake beauty and fashion products in the country.
Kenya is estimated to be losing 100 billion shillings annually to trade in counterfeit products.
Cheap goods sometimes find their way, and they have a lot of traction among the consumers because they find that they are affordable, they are viable, and they are cheap.
In addition to denying the government much needed tax revenue, illegal trade undermines legitimate businesses, discourages investment, affects jobs, as well as exposes consumers to unsafe products.
Most of the counterfeit goods are now finding into our shelves through online, so we also need to change our law And our theme, our main aim this year is to make sure that by the end of this year, we have a new anti-counterfeit law that will be matching with the trade operations in Kenya.
The Anti-Counterfeit Authority renewed campaign will focus on border points and cross-border trade networks, which are a major entry point for counterfeit products. The Anti-Counterfeit Authority is stepping up monitoring of the quality of products traded online.
We have also seen the fashion industry is also becoming a major problem to us. This one has also been augmented by the nature of modern marketing, where we have online marketing, and it's difficult for us to intercept some of the parcels that are being sent through online means.
Regina Manyar reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Now, Total Energies Managing Director Thibaut Flichi says it is investing more than R1 billion annually in liquefied petroleum gas LPG infrastructure and distribution to expand access to clean cooking fuels. The company plans to add about 200,000 LPG cylinders to the market each year to increase household access to cleaner energy. This move comes as Kenya aims to raise LPG penetration from 24% to 70% by the year 2028 under the National Clean Cooking Strategy.
Clean cooking solution will change life because it's better for health. You know, we know that with charcoal you have a lot of CO2 emissions and it's really dangerous for people. So we want people to convert from charcoal to LPG because LPG is better. You know, you don't feel the CO2. There is no CO2 emission.
Ten Kenyan youth-led green enterprises will take part in a 6-month accelerator program designed to help them access trade and investment opportunities in Germany and the wider European market. Friedrich Naumann Foundation Program Manager Frida Okello says the Kijani Enterprise Collaboration Program seeks to address barriers that have limited the ability of Kenyan startups to enter European markets due to regulatory compliance and market visibility.
And right now we are noticing that we can no longer work as we used to, so we are looking into innovative ways of being able to collaborate, so economic cooperation through the looking at markets.
Kijani aims to bridge this gap, ideally ensuring that we are preparing them to be ready. There are components like ESG, the social, the governance components that the Kenyan businesses have to heighten and actually make it so attractive that the rest of the people out there and in this particular program, German buyers can particularly find them attractive. We're using trade as a tool to push for more collaboration, and also you have to have something when going to the table. If you have a good quality product, a product that can even pass through the export process, right, then we've actually made it possible to cooperate at an equal level.
Now, switching gears to matter sports, Ghana became the second African country after Ivory Coast to register a win in their opening group match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup tournament, following Caleb Yireki's stoppage time goal against Panama earlier today at the BMO Field in Toronto, Canada. They now sit second in Group L behind England, who started their 2026 campaign with a 4-2 win over Croatia.
The four-time African champions were off to a defensive start, having 0 shots on target and low possession in the first 45 minutes. Despite having a winless record in World Cup history, Panama dominated the match until the 94th minute when the 20-year-old Yirenki grabbed a winner for Black Stars.
It's away from cornerback. Ghana could be in business. They are!
In another match played today, Colombia announced their return to the global stage with an impressive 3-1 victory over debutants Uzbekistan at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico. Bayern Munich forward Luis Diaz starred for Colombia, assisting the opener and netting once to seal a win that saw them take command of Group